Hello, good morning, everyone. So welcome, everyone. I hope you had a nice weekend and you're ready for these 3 busy days. That is today, Wednesday, and Friday. And to help me, I have the wonderful Martina. So I'm Chantal, as you can hear, I'm French. And I will be your moderator for these 3 days. And I would like to call now Andrea Barbanti, Dania, Abdul, Malak, and Alejandro Iglesias for the official opening of the training. I will give you more details about them on Wednesday, as they will be running some of the sessions. And actually, they are not new to you, as they gave presentations at the introduction webinar, which we strongly invite you to watch again if you haven't done so, or to watch. And you can find anyway more about them in this document, which I hope you can see and you have all received, which is the speakers and participants booklet. Andrea, who will speak first, is researcher manager at the CNR ISMAR in Italy. Diana is director of the European Topics Center at the University of Malaga in Spain. And Alejandro is program specialist at the Intergovernmental Oceanic Commission of UNESCO, and he's based in Paris. So Andrea, the floor is yours to open officially, and then we will move to Dania.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chantal. Good morning again to everyone, to all the colleagues, the trainers, to all the trainees, to all the attendees. It's really a great pleasure for me to welcome you all at this short course on Science, Policy, Society Interactions in Ecosystem-Based Marine Resources Management and Planning. And I want, first of all, share with you my personal satisfaction for the results we are obtaining together with all the organizers, maintaining the course despite the circumstances. And this is considering the effort and the passion, I would say, we invested since its conception. I strongly believe in the urgency of reinforcing interactions between science, policy, society, and hope that this can be a small but notable contribution in this direction. It will bring benefits in terms of actual and effective growth to all the participants, including the trainers, actually. And I personally expect a lot, I expect to learn a lot and also to have fun, actually. My institution, the National Research Council of Italy and the Institute of Marine Sciences, that is very active on the UN Decade for Sustainable Ocean in the Mediterranean, attributes great importance to these topics and to the effort to put science at the service of sustainability, societal challenges, coastal communities, and the civil society as a whole. And in fact, in the last 6 years as CNR, we had the opportunity to intensively work at the development and consolidation of the Blue Med initiative. And it is not accidental that Blue Med is today co-organizing and co-funding this course, which is fully in line with its spirit, contents, and perspectives. Finally, I want to conclude this few welcome words, sharing with you my hope and expectation to have you all in presence in Venice, as Chantal already anticipated, in the second round of the course that we hopefully will be able to organize late in fall, most probably. And with this, I leave the floor to Dania for her welcome words.
Thanks a lot, Andrea. Dania, so the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andrea, and good morning, everyone. So from my side, as well, I mean, it's great that we had the possibility to finally shift a bit the way we would have desired to do the course, but still to maintain it. So I think it's really an important opportunity, especially now we just started this UN decade for the ocean, and I think it's a very good moment actually to use it as a platform to strengthen the efforts that are part of the course. So the efforts to partner, to raise awareness, to increase knowledge, to provide the science, but also the tools that are needed to do a type of reconciliation, no? To reconcile this coexistence that we need to have, and urgently, between nature and humans and their needs. No, so I think, yeah, by nature, what I mean is really this biodiversity, how we can maintain the health of biodiversity, the functions of the different ecosystems that are beneath it, but also that are really crucial for human existence.
There's someone with lots of children around.
Yeah, we fixed it. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, to do this reconciliation. So the course aims at ensuring mechanisms, tools, the knowledge, the communication on how we try to go to really change the shift we behave with nature, we use nature for our needs, but also to ensure this reconciliation. So anyway, my institute, so this European Topic Center on Spatial Information and Analysis in the University of Malaga, we decided to join forces to really use that platform together with UNESCO, Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, the CNR ISMAR, the Marine Institute in Croatia, the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions, and other regional partners. So to join these efforts, to partner and to co-organize this initiative, to provide a type of a practical training, right? To contribute to these purposes that I mentioned. So how we can really use that for the reconciliation. So we think that we are providing young professionals and mid-career coastal and marine scientists, but also planners, an opportunity to talk with each other, to learn about a wider range of concepts, about practices, decisions that are really needed and urgently, they need to be urgently reinforced in a way and used in a way to do some transformations in the way we interact with stakeholders, but also we communicate to different types of stakeholders, and so including the natural resource and natural resource managers. So we ensure better practices in the near future within. So by using what we do, that's, I think, what's really we want to somehow try to commit with each other, with each other's, so we can move to that side of ensuring some implementation of what we learn in our daily practices. So mainly, we think that what we are doing, we hope that it would align efforts of different types of people to achieve global and regional goals to ensure more sustainable development in the Mediterranean, but also an improved protection of biodiversity. So I'm sure that we will learn a lot as well, and I'm looking forward for these 3 days with all of you.
Thank you, Dania. I will now pass the floor to Alejandro to close this official opening.
Thank you, Chantal. Good morning, everyone. We are experiencing how society is demanding applied science for policy development, and after so many failed opportunities in the past, we know that the Sustainable Development Goal, it is now more urgent than ever to restore damaged ecosystems. Dania mentioned the UN Ocean Science Decade. We also have the UN Decade of the Ecosystem Restoration to prevent, to halt, and reverse the degradation of ecosystem of all continents and oceans, and helping actually to eradicate poverty, to combat climate change, and to prevent the mass extinction. The UN Decade of Ocean Sciences for Sustainable Development, in parallel, will mobilize the ocean stakeholders worldwide behind a common framework that will ensure ocean science can fully support society in the achievement of the 2030s Agenda for Sustainable Development. A more coordinated and consolidated observations and research will definitely contribute to the UN processes protecting the ocean at its resources, such as the Aichi biodiversity targets, the Samoa pathway, the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea, the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, or the joint roadmap to accelerate marine spatial planning in support of sustainable blue economy strategies worldwide. IUC UNESCO is very happy to join forces with you all as participants, and also with our partners, CNR ISMAR, the ETC at the University of Malaga, the Marine Institute of Croatia, and the CPMR, to learn together, to share experiences and practices, and to define together, united in our diversity, the ocean we want, the ocean we need for the future we want. Sorry, I look forward to meeting you all in Venice very soon. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Alejandro, and thanks to you three for this actually nice opening. It's true that we're at a crucial time and much effort is needed, and concerted and combined and joint forces are really needed to change the situation we're facing, especially in the Mediterranean now. Before we jump into the presentations, I would actually like to call another person. And Caterina, would you join us, please? And while you're joining, I will present you. Caterina is a project manager at the Croatian Marine Institute, and she also works at the ISPRA Research Center. And the reason why I wanted to invite Caterina to take the floor with me was that as we were preparing the course, she told me her story of how, as a scientist, she moved at some point to the policy world. And she said something very interesting that I hope will inspire you all. She said to me, if I did it, anyone can do it. And I think this is really the spirit with which we would like to work around these days, and get a chance and give you a chance to listen to everybody's experience and understand that, yes, now it's time to shift our mindsets and join forces and not be afraid to step in a world that might be a bit different sometimes. So Caterina, what is that thing you did? You told me, if I did it, anyone can do it. Can you tell us more about maybe your studies and how you started your career, and what made you enter actually in the policy world?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yes, I did start my career just by chance, I have to say. I was about to actually quit the university altogether. I was doing biology in Florence, and I was in the middle of a big crisis, which are pretty recurrent in my life. So I wasn't very happy about the university. I didn't see a real practical benefit for the universe to actually do biology. And just by chance, a boyfriend of mine at that time gave me the advertisement of a project in Croatia, which was taking volunteers to help their projects to go on. I mean, help them with field work, but also partially financing their work. It was pretty cheap, so I went. I met some people which were very enthusiastic about their work and their life, and I actually fell in love with the project and with whatever they were doing. And then accidentally they were studying dolphins, bottlenose dolphins in Croatia, in the wild. But I always say that if they were studying worms, it would have been the same. It was really the spirit of the research and the enthusiasm, and it was in the 90s. So Croatia was also just it just became a country, so there was also a romantic aspects to all the surrounding situation. So I did, in the end, I did graduate after 3 years of collecting data, well, after 5 years, I also enrolled a PhD, and then I did earn my PhD at the University of St. Andrews. While I was trying to pay my university in St. Andrews, since I couldn't get any grant because I was Italian and I was working in Croatia, So at that time, UK grants, they were going only to mostly to UK people. I did start, I was looking for a job. So I went to a person which I knew in this field and asked if they had a job, and he was the president of an Italian research institute. And he said, yes, I do have a job for you. You can do photo ID of bottlenose dolphins in Sardinia. And that's it. Basically, I did pay all my fees through that job. So I did the PhD part-time, as a part-time worker. Then from there, when I was working at this institute, I did have a chance to, I was asked again by accident to follow an international convention, which is, you might have heard about it, is the International Whaling Commission. So it's the Convention for Regulation of Whaling. Which is now mostly doing conservation work rather than whaling, except for the so-called Aboriginal subsistence whaling. So again, I had this chance and I basically took it. I was, let's say that in general, I have been very enthusiastic about any option that I was presented with, if it was interesting. So when I entered this International Whaling Commission, it was more about policy and discussions, negotiations, discussions in the science world, but also applied to some form of policy. And from there, I was in the same institute. I was asked to cooperate with ACOBAMS and follow ACOBAMS issues. ACOBAMS is the agreement which is born under the Convention for Migratory Species, and it deals with the cetaceans in Mediterranean and Black Sea. So that's more or less how it went. And then after like 15 years within the International Whaling Commission at the scientific committee level, I was representing Italy, both at the scientific committee and at the commission. I was nominated vice chair of the scientific committee, which is the scientific committee of the IWC. If you don't know, it's really one of the prime bodies for science in cetaceans. And there are about 250 scientists from all over the world. And for all over the world, I really mean it. There is a very good geographical coverage with lots of scientists coming also from countries that you wouldn't expect to see in usual meetings or conferences. So it has been a great honor and pleasure, of course. And according to the system, after being vice chair of the scientific committee of the IWC, you become that automatically chair for 3 more years. So it was a service for 6 years. And of course, it has nothing to do with being the best scientist in the room, because 100% sure I wasn't, not even near. There are people going there which are really like gurus for cetacean and marine mammals world. And I mean, lots of people that actually I was reading books of when I was doing my thesis. So it was basically a service to them, and it was all about helping them to work in the best possible way. So it was more like organizing and organizing the work, the governance of this body, this scientific body, and all the interactions with the commission, which is the political body. And so this is basically very quickly my career. Although while I was doing this part just before becoming the vice chair in 2014, I was also doing the presidency during the Italian semester of the European Union. I was the presidency for the whaling working group at the EU level. And that was also a very interesting situation and experience, because I had
so
to.
you've been very busy, I think, with
Yeah.
the political world. Actually,
Yeah.
what would you say was the biggest learning from this experience of being a scientist, swimming, let's say, in the policy world?
Well, most interesting experience. I don't know. I always perceived whatever I was doing, as I said, like a service. So I was basically learning all my career. I never stopped, and I'm still learning. Interesting is that, as I said, if I did it, everybody can do it. Is true. If you are open and you can see, if you are willing to adapt to different situations and learn new skills, you can certainly end up doing lots of interesting activities and cover many different areas.
I think actually that we clearly see that today, more than ever, science is needed in policy and business. Would you agree with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yes, I do agree. Very simply, I think is needed. And honesty as well is needed in science. So keep honest and do the best work you can do. But yeah.
Thanks a lot, Caterina. Really, I think this testimonial, I hope, will inspire our participants on the importance of what you're doing now and how it can serve the change that is crucially needed today, as we were saying before. Now, I would like to call Elena Gissi. Elena is a senior researcher at the Institute of Marine Sciences in the Italian Research Council. And you will listen to her later this morning, but she kindly accepted my invitation to step in and give you some insights on what the training is about, so that we will have the framework clear. So Elena, for this quick presentation, before we jump into the first talks or speeches, I'll give you the floor.
Thanks, Chantal. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to give you this very short glimpse of what we are going to do in the coming days. So first of all, like we have a challenge to face that we are all aware of, less or more, us as participants to this training. And we are going to face in the coming years, as the previous speakers told about, a series of challenges that would need to be tackled to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. So on one side, we know that the climate change is pushing the marine environment to respond in many different ways to the multiple stressors driven by changing temperature and all the drivers that we are aware of. But on the other side, also human activities will be affected by climate change, as well as will react differently and will need to be allocated in the sea. And the sea that seems so empty, on the other hand, is very crowded, as we all know. So we have to manage all these as a major challenge in the coming futures. And we have a role in all of these as scientists, as people working in bridging science and policy. So But we have an opportunity, which is ecosystem-based management. We will dive into that more along these 3 days, but this is just to introduce you with the opportunity which is given by this integrated approach that sees ecosystems as a whole, where humans are part of the ecosystems. So ecosystem-based management is raising the attention towards integrating and managing for multiple objectives. So integrating humans, integrating disciplines, integrating and reflecting on the relationships between the marine environment, but behind the really boundaries between domains, between ecosystems, between realms, between land and sea, and so on. Here I just show you one of the graphics that you can find about the key principles on ecosystem-based management. I'm not going to discuss them in details, but just to give an idea about setting a common ground on which we are going to discuss in the next in the next days. So what is the purpose of the training of these days that we will perform together? So we have a role in all of this, and the course, the purpose of this course is not just a simple training where the speakers and the panelists will pass you notions, but it's more about a co-learning experience where we all share our experience with all of you that are not just students, not just trainees, but you are peers. So you have an experience to bring on the table and really to learn from each other. Like it happens in the community of practices, for instance, where all the participants share their experience for a co-learning. So we will, through sharing this experience, we will try to promote self-reflection, meaning to reflect on our own experience and to try to understand how we can leverage change and transformation, starting from what we can learn from each other. So I think that this is a very brief introduction with the idea of really putting ourselves in a discussion and interaction as if we were part of our own ecosystem altogether. Thanks, Chantal.
Thanks a lot, Elena.